Clearly visible crosses are to go up in some public buildings like courthouses, police stations and city halls like this one here in Bavaria. It's as a new law regarding crucifixes came into effect on the 1st of June. The plan comes courtesy of Bavaria's new president, Markus Söder, and his reasoning is that this is supposed to reinforce Bavarian identity in the face of large-scale immigration.
We want to set a signal of self-assurance in Bavaria. We want to state our Western Christian culture. And that is why clearly we don't get rid of crosses, but hang them up. This is not an attack on others, but only a cultural symbol, which we especially appreciate in Bavaria.
Public opinion shows that almost 60% of Bavarians actually support the move. But when we spoke to people on the streets of Nuremberg, opinion was more finely balanced.
I don't think it's a good idea. Because that has nothing to do with the church. The government is separate than the church, so why should we do the same? I don't think it's a good idea.
It's correct, because it's our tradition, and why not?
On the one hand, we see people wanting to ban the headscarf. On the other, they're forcing people to show the cross. That seems at odds to me.
I don't think Bavarian identity depends on crosses. It is strong in other ways, beer gardens and local traditions.
The cross is part of everyday life for us, but we respect every faith, not just Christianity.
The Bavarian president became the target of more than a few online jokes when he announced this idea. However, those who are charged with actually hanging crucifixes in public buildings, well, they are on side with the plan.
This is not a defensive reaction, but a positive reinforcement of our culture. It does not hurt to point out what our roots are. This cross is a symbol, not only for Christians, but for people living in Bavaria.
But critics say that this goes against Germany's constitutional separation of church and state and say they want to change the law.
It's a totally wrong decision of the Bavarian government because as a Bavarian citizen you can be a Muslim, you can be a Jew, you can be non-religious, you can be an atheist, humanist, for example. And all these people shall now look to the cross. And why is that? We have a strong tradition of a separation of church and state. There has to be clarified whether this mixing up of a religious symbol with secular rooms of a secular state is really compatible with our Bavarian constitution.
There hasn't been any mad rush to hang crucifixes in buildings like the City Hall in Nuremberg just behind me here. The law didn't come with any deadline and is also widely expected to be challenged in Germany's highest court at some point in the future.